dorsal stream? Where or how? Earlier, we talked about how the dorsal stream includes areas like V3 and MT. From there, signals get projected into the parietal cortex, which is important for space. This has led to the traditional view that the dorsal stream is for where, while the ventral stream is for what. And there is certainly some truth to this view, which we will learn more about in the next class. Patients with lesions to specific parts of the parietal cortex indeed show great difficulty with depth perception, or locating objects in space. But what happens when the ventral stream gets damaged is also interesting. Patient DF is one example. She's called DF because in modern neuropsychological studies, we often refer to the patients by their initials to protect their anonymity and privacy. Now, DF has a bilateral lesion to her occipital areas, meaning that the lesions occurred in both hemispheres in roughly the same region. Her lesions abolished her ability to recognize and identify objects, so her ventral stream processing seemed to be quite generally impaired. Now then, if it's true that the ventral stream is for representing what we see, then without it, it doesn't do much good to just know where things are. We need to know what things are in order to benefit from knowing where they are. But Mel Goodale and others have done some really groundbreaking experiments to show that things are not so simple. In one such experiment, they asked DF to look at a slot and rotate a card in her hand to match the orientation. The results are shown here. See the upper two plots, perceptual matching, which plots the actual responses made over several trials. While the control subjects without brain lesions could do this precisely, DF's responses were all over the place. It looked as if she couldn't see the orientation. So far, so good. It makes sense given that her ventral stream wasn't working well. But then the experiment also had another condition, in which they simply asked her to post the card into the slot. Just do it, no matter what you see, just do it. Amazingly, DF could now do it almost as well as the control subjects. See the lower plots, posting. How could this be? If you know where, but not what orientation it is, how does it help you to do the posting task? These results, along with others, led Mel Goodale and David Milner to argue that perhaps the dorsal pathway isn't for where, but for how. That means that it is important for visually guided actions. So, according to this view, the ventral stream allows us to see things and report what they are verbally. But in real life, things often happen much faster. In order to react to objects in real time and to act accordingly, like catching a ball or dodging a punch, you don't necessarily need to use your ventral stream to recognize things totally consciously. The dorsal stream may support this kind of fast motor reactions, or as we sometimes say, for online control of actions.